But that experience, it helped me understand more about Taiwan's culture and the people and how they work as a team. I am leaving Taiwan, and it's a bit emotional to talk about. It's hard to talk about because I'm leaving and I don't want to cry. But it's okay because I'm emotional and I'll just let it come out. My name is Mackenzie, and I'm from the United States, and I work at an international bilingual school, and currently I'm teaching grade 4 English and also the high school guidance teacher. I also do college counseling.
Oh, interesting. So how long have you been in Taiwan?
I have lived in Taiwan almost 2 years.
During this short period of staying in Taiwan, what are some of the challenges that you've overcome or yet to overcome?
I would say the communication barrier is still a problem, but it's something that I'm overcoming every day. Mm-hmm. I went to a friend's pineapple farm this morning, and my friend Bonnie, who's in France right now, her parents own a pineapple farm, and so she made the connection for me, and I was able to go and do that, and that's been one of the highlights of my trip here, actually, my time here. But I wasn't able to communicate with them without using a translator, but we still had such an amazing time together. We really did. And I just loved the opportunity to be there and do that. In Taiwan, you have folks that are monolingual, bilingual, trilingual, more than that even. And so if I run into somebody who can communicate with me in English, because my Chinese is bu hao. I really did take lessons, and I tried for a while, but after I knew that I was going to be leaving, I kind of just let it go and in regards to Chinese. But so to answer your question, if I can find somebody that can communicate with me that's Taiwanese and they're open and they have similar interests that I have, like for example, I've met some people that rock climb and that river trace, that really love those kind of outdoor activities. So I feel like I've been able to establish communities there, but it's so infrequent. Like for example, like maybe on the weekends and not every weekend. But I do think being in Taiwan has enabled me to explore different things. Like for example, I learned how to play badminton, and I started to join that group. Being able to join that group instead of rock climbing, which I'm comfortable doing, has put me also outside my comfort zone, which has been really cool to just try something new. I miss the being able to see the night sky in Colorado. I have to travel to the East Coast. I can see it in Dulan, outside of Taidong. I've slept on the beach and camped there and have been able to see a beautiful night sky. And I know that there's places in Taiwan to be able to see that if you can get away from the pollution, but it's just so much easier in Colorado, and I'm spoiled. I'm actually super privileged and very, very, very lucky.
I have known some people who came here without the expectation of staying longer, and then they end up finding love here, and then they continue to stay. Have you found love here? Have you ever dated Taiwanese?
I have dated Taiwanese men, and I have been in a few relationships since I've lived here, but nothing has panned out and nothing serious. And in regards to love in Taiwan, I would definitely say I have not had the opportunity to be in love with somebody else. I mean, I love a lot of people, but that's just my nature. So yeah, coming to Taiwan, in the back of my mind, I knew that my main priority, my main goal was to come here to work, to travel, to meet new people. And of course, there wasn't a doubt in my mind that I thought, well, maybe I'll meet somebody. My thinking has changed a little bit, but I think before I came here, I feel like dating Americans can be so typical, and like you know what you're going to get, and you know the culture. So when I came to Taiwan without knowing the culture, I was excited to meet Taiwanese men and also people of other nationalities and backgrounds. But I think that with that comes challenges too. So it's love in itself, and like creating a relationship, I feel like we could talk about for hours. You know, there's a lot that is involved in that conversation. In general, it is difficult to communicate and to form deep connections with people in Taiwan, with the exception of Alice, who I've met. But in general, I feel like not only the men that I've dated, but the women that I have met can be not necessarily like closed off, but more conservative and more, it's more difficult to form a consistent connection where you need to actually put in the time and the effort to meet with each other, to have meals, to get to know each other, to do things that you both like separately, that you like together.
How is it like living in Taiwan as a foreigner in general?
There are things that I'm gonna miss and that are very different. And the culture here is warm, and also one thing that I will really, 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 truly miss is the safety. I was thinking about it this morning when I went to the bathroom and left all my belongings out on the table, my cell phone, my wallet, came back out, and of course, people don't steal in this country, and if they do, I would say it's like, 0.0001%, and it's not like that in America, and so I'm scared actually to be integrated back into the culture. I really have to watch my back and watch my things.
Being used to not paying attention to your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you leaving Taiwan?
I am leaving Taiwan, and it's a bit emotional to talk about. The obvious reason is my contract is ending. Regardless, the school did ask if I wanted to renew. They'd be happy to keep me on. But personally, I feel like where I'm located, in regards to the mountains and the sea, it makes it really difficult for me to be able to get into nature the way that I really feel like my body and mind needs.
So, but you could move to areas that are close to the mountains, like Hualien, Kaohsiung, Taitung. Why not? Why leave the country?
That's a great question. I mean, obviously I could move, and I've thought about that, moving somewhere else where it's less crowded. For example, in Hualien, I think that would be a great solution, or Taitung. But I really miss my family and my friends, and that's pulling at my heartstrings, so to speak. I do feel like I have established communities, but I don't feel like they're super, super strong. And I think if I stayed longer, it would create more opportunity to get to know the people in my community and to build a stronger community. But I do feel as though the lifestyle here is very different, is somewhat different than the lifestyle I was experiencing in Colorado. Because ultimately, I grew up skiing when I was 12 years old, and I learned to ski in New Jersey. And then I moved to Colorado. It was very easy as a teacher in Colorado to also be a ski teacher, or to just ski as much as I wanted. And so that is definitely one of the biggest struggles I find here in Taiwan, is there's no snow. And I really miss the cold and the snow. And I was able to go to Japan, which was a blessing and was absolutely amazing. And I'll never forget that trip, but it's not enough.
Okay. What are some of your most memorable moments in Taiwan? Just name a few.
It's hard to talk about because I'm leaving and I don't want to cry. But it's okay because I'm emotional and I'll just let it come out because it's good to cry. That's what I tell my students.
You can do it.
Yeah. So I would say that my school, like where I work, is definitely one of the most amazing things, because the students I work with, they're so intelligent and very creative, and everybody there has been very supportive, and it feels good to be surrounded by not only the students who are really, really wonderful, but the staff that I work with is inspiring. They inspire me to want to be a better teacher. I feel extremely grateful to be working at the school where I work. People that I've met, that I have formed deep connections with, have just been really special. When I went river tracing on my birthday, that was a really special trip. Yeah. To wake up by the river, and it was just really magical weekend.
Okay.
I'm sure I can think of a few others. Even though, I will say, even though I didn't summit Ushan, Jade Mountain, that trip, I'm getting hot because I'm crying. That trip was extremely memorable. I went with my friend Kelly, who lives up in Taipei, and she helped organize the trip. And it was a group of 12 people. And I carried too much water and had too much weight, didn't sleep properly the night before, and overexerted myself and ended up getting altitude sickness, and had to go down the mountain, and the rest of the group went up. But that experience really taught me. It helped me understand more about Taiwan's culture and the people and how they work as a team. And it's so prevalent in the society how different it is than in America, because in America people are very independent and they just go off and do things by themselves in the mountains, on the river. So maybe they'll go with one or two other people or a small group, but in Taiwan they travel in packs and they support each other, and it's really inspiring to see. So when I got sick and I had so many people help me, it just felt really great, and that opportunity was really special.
Okay, we can see she really loves Taiwan. So our Instagram and Facebook links will be in the description below. If you think you can make her stay in Taiwan, go check her out.
Funny guy.
Okay, if you are to do it all over again, what would you have done differently?
One thing came to mind. So the apartment where I'm located, I am walking distance to my school. It's very convenient, but it's not so convenient to be able to get to my friends and to get to restaurants and different things in the city. The climbing gym that I'm a part of, and all the yoga studios are there. So it's just been that's been a challenge. So I think that if I would have done it again, if I could have done it again, I would probably have done 1 year here in this dorm and then moved into the city. I think being in the city for the convenience and the community and the friendship would have outweighed that. Even though it would have been a commute, I think just for the experience, to have that experience for a year versus living here for 2 years, because I did feel a bit isolated. Even though I love listening to the birds when I wake up, it's great, it's quiet out here, but I think that's one thing that came to my mind.
When did you realize that this is not for you, you want to go back?
Even though it was a comfortable transition, very different than when I went to Beirut. Very peaceful society here, and I still felt like the transition of the work culture was very different, and I was very much tied to my job, and I didn't have a lot of work-life balance, I felt like, and it took a lot of, specifically my first year, I was able to create that more my second year with my position. But I think that in Taiwan, people really work hard, extremely hard, and it's not that Americans don't work hard, it's just that we have more of a priority about work-life balance and the importance of making sure that you are taking care of yourself and doing the things that fill your cup, fill your bucket, so to speak. So I do think that I knew after at least 5 or 6 months after being here, I think that I knew that I wasn't going to renew my contract.
What advice would you give to anyone who wishes to come to Taiwan?
I would suggest, if somebody is interested in coming to Taiwan and they're not sure, do it. Just jump. Because the experience that I've had here, and even though I've had challenges, the opportunities and experiences, positive experiences that I've had have outweighed all of the other things. And so regardless of the fact that I don't know when I step out that door if I'm going to be able to communicate with somebody, I know I'll be able to use my phone as a translator. It is a really special opportunity to be able to put yourself outside of your comfort zone and live somewhere else, because you really get an idea of what the culture is like, and that's the best way to understand the world. And I think that it's so important to do that, not only as an educator or a teacher, but anyone and everyone who has a love for the world and for people. They should live in different places and experience the culture of that place, because it really it helps us become one.
Finally, do you have anything else to tell Taiwanese people?
Not specifically for Taiwanese people, but just want to, I guess, thank all of the people that I've met, regardless of whether you're Taiwanese or from another country. Thanks for the memories.
Okay, thank you very much for giving us your time, and we still hope you're not going to leave, you could stay in Taiwan here. Thank you.
Thank you.